Hello everyone. This is the third day of the Film Spring Open festival. Today we have with us another exceptional guest, the king of internet, king of YouTube, Martin Stankiewicz. And today he's with us with a lecture, the title of which is How Filmmakers Can Use Internet, TikTok and Social Media for Building Their Image and Film Marketing, and how internet can become a place of great distribution for new film forms of cinematography, which can be successful without multi-million budget. This will be a fascinating lecture, judging by the title. So great round of applause for Martin. Hello everyone, I'm very happy to have so many people here with us because recently a colleague from Holy Land, this is how it started from this number. I hope that you will stay with us here. As I said, we were talking about the HDD a moment ago, I know how our brains work right now and how evolutionary we are changing, and we have a million of distractors. So if you were to listen to me for an hour, maybe I don't know how much it will take me, you can leave. I will not be offended. I will not take it personally. I'm just joking. I will be very offended, but I know how many distractors you have in the world, and that's why such a lecture should not be my own monologue, but it should be rather our dialogue. So I will be stopping every now and then and asking you questions, or maybe trying to enter a dialogue with you. And I will be extremely happy if this discussion will take place, because I think this is the most important thing for Film Spring to learn through dialogue and not through listening. And in general, in the world, I think it's worth it to be courageous enough to have your own opinion, because what I will be telling you, I will not give you any tips, secrets, life hacks. I will be just taking a glimpse at the world that is and that took place, and I will be commenting it a bit, of course, in my own special way. You can disagree with me, and that's when discussion will start. Let's start with this gentleman who is controversial in the last week. Do you know this guy? Probably this is not the greatest picture, but do you know this guy? Who doesn't know him? There are still people who don't know this guy, which is, I don't know if this is good, but I don't want to talk about him because I'm not watching his stuff. I'm not watching his content, neither on the YouTube channel, nor. This is not the gist of the core of the matter. I will show you a movie, Buddha 98. It was supposed to get into the internet or to streaming. Finally, it entered the cinemas. But see the most interesting part of this movie, an experiment of Buddha which shows the power of social media. So today I will not tell you how to become an influencer like Buddha, because I have no idea. But what we will see is how social media in Poland are used by our filmmakers. Before that happens, let me update with Mr. Buddha. Let me show that on the full screen. I don't know why it doesn't want to present here. Oh. Buddha Dzieciak 98 in the opening weekend, 350,000 viewers in cinemas. Two critics decided to see that. They gave one on film. I would say it's 3 out of 10. And today's. I'm not trying to fill my brain with such topics, because as the truth in reality is changing a lot, so it's better to focus on your own work, and this is what I suggest to you. However, I just wanted to show you who Mr. Buddha is. That's Will Smith.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I haven't looked like this good in years. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. You know what? This ain't even real blue screen. It's 20
So for me, this is absolutely scary, because if we take into account that it's 2019 movie, I was a video. So how many of you do believe is what he's saying is a bit of an exaggeration, and to what extent do you think that Hollywood tells the truth and their technology has been much more advanced for many years already? I'm interested of your point of view. In 2014, we all said during about the Oscars that made the bait selfie. That was the commercial of some sort of a Samsung phone or whatever, and everybody was talking about this picture. They were, of course, that was one big mock-up, but it was all very convincing. 10 years later, just again to talk about Oscars, so we have to do something like this. And once again, my question again, was this staged or not? Because it looks as if like a totally random thing, and there are certain consequences from the Academy. But before that, Will got the Oscar. So on the same evening, he's getting on the stage and saying, Denzel Washington's, be careful, devil always reaches for you when you're close to success. And there's like big lynch. Chris Rock doesn't do anything with this, and Jim Carrey for many years has been saying that in reality Hollywood is one big distraction and lie. Hollywood is the dream factory. Do you really think that in a moment when we are hungry for emotions and at the same time nothing really will surprise us, is Hollywood staying behind? Is it real? Of course, this is only a conspiracy theory and nobody would ever say, as you can say that Hollywood and the entertainment industry in the US is rediscovering its dark side. So I think this is also possibly to be staged, because Oscars wants to be watched. But the thing is this the level that we want to achieve? It is also interesting that Will Smith was the first AI movie hero. I don't know, like when he's eating spaghetti, then they show that the technology moved on. And also the video they showed you a moment ago, they saw that right now we are living in this small thing, in this small world, and this is the only thing that interests us. The dopamine to come our way. In order to feel the dopamine, we need to have this true feeling with this basic, with our primeval emotion, and cinema does not deliver. So this is a bridge in one of the most expensive districts in China. People do lives just to get donates because their algorithm show in China. This is how it works. In China, the algorithm shows the people who are the closest to you. So all these people are making spots, recording spots to get donates from rich people who are sitting upstairs in their villas and pay. I don't even know what they're paying for. I stopped understanding internet. I stopped understanding how these lives work, how these TikTok battles work, and this is not something I want to focus on. I wanted to show you that everybody today, like Andy Warhol was right, everybody can have 5 minutes of fame. But who should be the spectator then, if everybody wants to be the broadcaster? So now I will move on. How a director, Martin Scorsese. Do you know Martin Scorsese? Who doesn't? Very good that you are courageous enough to confirm. He's a great director. A Hollywood director who they made a Taxi Driver. Throw titles at me. Yeah, Infiltration. The Irishman. Oh, The Irishman. Well, well, he got a bit too far. Also, his last movie, which is 3.5 hours long. No, you don't do movies, such movies. In the US, they were showing this movie with an intermission, and nobody really cared about the story. People were going to see Scorsese. And look, here you can see how his daughter, Francesca, just by chance, she used her father, and immediately the views went up in TikTok. I don't want to show you the full thing. Just look, this is the most popular film in her TikTok. Also with her father, which uses the popular trend in TikTok, and they do it very well. Because they combine the film topic with a funny joke and with this very popular trend at the moment. At this moment, congratulations for this situation. I would like to see Mr. Idziak who judges like this. I don't know, maybe we'll do something like this, especially for FSO this year. And here he directs her, so that's the joke here. You see, the people are watching this. They can look into the house of Scorsese, which is attractive for them. It is done in the convention of this trend, and you can see the views. They speak for themselves. 7.5 billion views. A TikTok after 2 minutes can register views. So please take that into account. And this is about the distractor. Of course, these views are a bit pumped up, and the majority of them are, rejected after a few minutes. So divided by 4, but it's still a great result. And from the point of view of PR, it's a great thing. Jan Holubek, a great director. All those people are great directors. The fact that they're a great director doesn't mean that they don't need to want to be an influencer in a way, influencers or play with social media. But we're also living in times when the actors in Poland are asked to fill in the information about how many followers do you have in your Instagram, because this is a marketing tool of sorts. So these gentlemen, I think, do you have an Instagram? Does anybody have Instagram? Do you follow at least one of the gentlemen here? Nope. You should. If they were really creating content that are educational, that's another important thing. For example, Mr. Komasa, who did the Corpus Christi or Hater, his the democracy dies in darkness. It's a wise word, but they do not reflect what he's doing. So do not play a great influencer, but rather create out of it your artistic portfolio, your internet business card, which will show them the world who you are professionally. So who becomes their daughter? It's a bit tongue-in-cheek. It's because the chemistry. If Scorsese started to do TikToks by himself, he would be maybe just correct or maybe a bit cringy. Right now, if he has this chemistry with his real daughter, and she's really from this TikTok generation, that worked. That was something that caused Scorsese to suddenly become rediscovered by another generation, and maybe this generation will see some of his movies. But I don't think so, because the world looks like this. That Tim Burton, well, at least he could make. He got Beetlejuice, but it was more about the event, about the noise, and not about the movie itself. Here, this is very, very low volume, but so I will not even play that for you. It was like this. My friend was in an opening event somewhere. There was Jan Holubek, they knew one another, and Jan Holubek didn't see him, and he has the right not to know him. And then I thought, oh, you, and I stopped following him. No, I really didn't see any of his movies, so but I do respect him as an artist of high self-consciousness, and he made like really good things. So he made this series and he manifested another like deep water for us. So he's also a magician. Yeah, so high water. At least he wrote in his description who he is. Here again, film director. Out of all these things, I believe, and here another context. It's not the feed that is important, but the story. Then you can add. Then people are judging this in the same way. If these gentlemen, one of them is 524 weekend. I don't want to click him that he has unusual fashion shows. They should instead show the route of their film and how they went down that road. And they're not doing this. And they have the right to do it, but I also have the right to get into their profiles and judge it publicly. I will not say that because here, Paweł Maślona is here, who has a fantastic monologue. I was in the audience of his premiere, and he beautifully told about his vision, how a filmmaker should. And he's like flying away. I decided I'll do it here and I'll send it over to him just for fun. So let him fun. And he said that he doesn't understand Instagram, and I don't know if he smiled. He said, haha, but have a look at this. This is on my TikTok because I think that was very funny, but at the same time quite wise, because Paweł Maślona, who created KOS, he's a great director. So now let's move to Natasza Parzymiec, who's an example of a young generation of directors. Do you know Natasza? You don't necessarily have seen her works. I don't. Can you? She was in the prestigious list of Variety and Hollywood. And of course, this is also bloated. But this sound, there is already, it has this sound, the right sound. This girl from the very start knows how to sell herself in her business card. So Controla, which was on the prestigious list, Variety and Hollywood Up Next Impact list. It was on Max, on Player. She tells in our podcast how this is one of the most watched movies. She pins up posts here. You enter and you see that there is a certain variety, certain richness of her, and she's also diligent. She started from her small movie, which was without the dialogues. It suddenly started to go to the world, and she used immediately the potential of this, even the same footage, and he made an internet show. She took a crew for free. They made the first season grassroots within their own budget. For the second, the third, I don't think, maybe fourth, to sell or to make with Player PL, which was always very proud out of this material. And now it's on streaming in Max, so it has access to world audience, which many Polish films don't have. This film is also very interesting for you, for us, for people who are interested in movies, because this is also an exam movie from Polish Film School. This actress later played in the whole series, so now she also plays in The Boxer. Remember that this girl was 21. I'm talking about the director. So it has this sort of age stamp, but this film already has a few years old. And she got good. It is like her exam after the first year. So this is the gist of the marriage between the movies and the internet. Something that is 2 minutes long, can be global. You can see how many views it has. At the same time, it's not totally un-internet. It was very film-like. You had all these gestures, everything that was in the dialogue. And all the relation was made with small gestures. I wonder how you interpret this movie, because there were various interpretations. Who are these protagonists for themselves, for one another? Yeah, it develops later that in real. I mean, this is not some sort of a big. It's not a conflict, because it's a recollection, but it worked, and she managed to use that. In the Polish industry, people do not understand how important TikTok is for promotion of the movies, because we promoted this movie through TikTok. It's not that everybody started to go to the movies after the pandemic. Barbenheimer didn't come from out of the blue. Saltburn. All the American movies, of course, they all came through TikToks. The trends appeared. People started to post. Barbie was doing what's happening there was crazy. But in our times, in order to make a movie that is watched, you have to be aware of the young people. Well, young. We're all in TikTok, but to some extent. People who are sitting in TikTok and this get hyped up. Chłopi also, the peasants also it was a sure hit. It was like great paintings, great music, and the obligatory reading in school, and the cast and the visuals. You have to think in a comprehensive way about movies. If you want to make art house and have your own audience, it's fantastic. But if you like to think wide, you have to think about promotion when you think about the script, about the music. Just like I invited Ralph Kamiński to my short, in which big names also played, Pomykała and Staniska, because we had a complex approach to make a turbo-moving story, but something that would somehow stay in the human mind, in people's mind. And as a short, we were successful. I can see that there are people who know me better from my older things than from Control, but I do have a feeling that it's not that if the movie will be good, it will defend itself. No. Yeah, it's all about packaging. There are plenty of fantastic things that do not reach the audience, and this is what I'm telling to all my friend filmmakers, like the big filmmakers. You can get those millions from the market. Pieces also from our taxes. Please make sure that this film is also one is watchable, and second that somebody heard about it. Our filmmakers, especially the older guys, don't think in this comprehensive way. They think I will make this art house movie, and the marketing should take care about anything else. But there are also ladies in marketing who have like 50 or 60, and it's a beautiful age. But I don't think internet is their thing. At least to a lesser extent than Kamila. So if young, so this is an appeal. I thought how you can use young filmmakers to the projects of older filmmakers. This classical making ofs. They make no sense. So you should become the daughters of Scorsese of the filming set, because giving your TikTok school and this freshness, you can see them at work. And there's nothing better, because I did making ofs of many movies. It's nothing better than looking at people at work, not listening how they did it, but looking at as how they did that. And the best thing is to do it yourself and take things into your own hands. And this is an example of my friend Mac Adamczak, who in 2020, when everybody's froze in COVID, he took a crew, and for several months he made something like this. This is DM2K20. Where he employed a number of stars, and he showed his power, because he directed that, and with a colleague who was the author of photography there. Let me show this for you. Let's show this to you, because it's an interesting showcase. The problem is in original sound here. Down 2K20. This is flower. Everybody works for free here.
Widzicie, to nie jest taka pocztówka klasyczna, że pokażą pandemię. Tutaj jest jakaś zabawa formą, jest to też ciekawe wizualne, jest to dynamiczne, czyli znowu to ADHD vibe. I ludzie w tamtym czasie byli po prostu zgłodnieni.
At that time people were hungry for creating things. I will show you one more case.
Wyobraźcie sobie, jaki nakład pracy to też musiał być.
Just imagine how much work that required. A lot of this the majority was recorded by themselves. Of course, there are some borrowed photos, but also, but most of it, I mean, it's been an immense work. There's also an abstract story here. Ania Rubik. Krzysztof Gonciarz, 2020. Javier.
To jest problem. Chyba piosenka jest najgorszym elementem tego wszystkiego.
Yeah, the song is an important element of this all. It's not, but not to make it so sweet. I don't know to what extent, how many of you feel, okay, move on, man, and to what extent you would want to watch all this. But what I had in mind despite all the dynamics, I had this feeling of awareness because there was no story that would move on. The Javier, for example, if he would be the doctor and then he has this quarrel at home, and everything is chopped up here and in pieces. But now you can generate that in 3 seconds, but there's no story. But look what happened to that guy. He has 2 accounts: his private account, where he's again with his portfolio, and he made a separate one just for work, a commercial one, because thanks to that clip, he very quickly got into the musical video. He made a lot of Mata movies. He did the film production for him during the tour. But they also appeared only at some point. He had to get to this. I've known him from the very beginning, from his first project, and even before, because he wanted to be a YouTuber too. He very consequently he knew what to do. He made this musical videos for the best artists in Poland. Now he's doing the greatest advertising campaigns. He has his own style. He's a great chaos man. But look how it looked like, because he took matters into his own hand. He didn't wait for the budget from people, but he showed, this is what my aesthetics look like. I do things like that, and there you go, there it went. Unfortunately, I must tell you that if we started to do features too, this might not have been as he wanted to be done, because he's a very good visual director, and the things he does I would not be able to do, because my brain is fed with different emotions. So I would like to show you what I did during the COVID. I don't know if you remember, there was a popular challenge, Hot 16 challenge too. We're all hungry to create. It started from rappers, but suddenly it started to go strange, weird ways, and I was also nominated. And I decided, in the context of social media, this is a good moment to remind about my existence and mobilize my fandom. Oh, that was a crime, because you could not enter the forest. I don't know really what I had in mind here, but I did not need to ask the older producer who had his own ideas, but I just took it on my own heads and I produced it. That might not be a lot, but I got Grand Video Awards, where maybe at some point I will do my own musical monodrama, and then I will sing on. So this is my co-host and friend he did his own podcast. He made a project in 48 hours. There's a super initiative. There are also local editions. That was his second attempt. There he got a second prize, and now he also got the main prize. And right now, somewhere abroad, he also got another distinction. And thanks to that, his 7-minute movie, which I will not show here, but I recommend that you see it on the internet, it was shown in a Cannes festival. And of course, you can say this was not some great room. It was some, I would say, side showy screening. But it was, because this festival is huge, but it was not, it was the festival in Cannes, not as Mrs. Janoszek, who was faking her awards. So media got all interested, but he did it very well. He used that picture, and he made his own poster of his personal movie, and this is how you should build your film brand. And this is one of my top examples, and he's also my friend. So he was in a jury this year.
zrobił, no polecam, żeby zobaczyć ten film.
I really recommend that you see that movie. It's a movie about smuggling a girl from Belarus to Poland. A bit of a green border vibe, but done a very, very good professional thing done in 48 hours and an experience. Who wouldn't want to go to Cannes and say that your film was screened there?
W drugą stronę, Bodo Cox. Kto kojarzy tego
And here,
reżysera?
Bodo Cox. Do you remember this guy?
No nie jest jakoś dużo.
Not too many of you. There are two of his movies. He started from off movies. These are his feature movies, his high-budget movies. Dziewczyna z szafy even got a number of awards, also some awards here, but this movie, sci-fi, totally didn't make it in the cinema, and since that time Bodo Cox got into creative depression and he totally disappeared. He made a TV show in TVP, but recently he tried to get financing from PiS and he didn't get it, even though, despite his distinctions, awards and experience. I recommend these movies to you. And you know what he did? He said screw all this. He's coming back to cinema in the form of the internet form, and he created his own TV show, so like internet show, where he asked a few actors he knew, because he's been in this industry for years, to cooperate with him. I'll show you one of the episodes. If you want, we'll have a chat about it.
Jak to odpocząć? To druga rzecz. Gdzie? W dupie. Obojętnie gdzie. Japa! W dupie to dosyć daleko, a ty się boisz latać. Trzecia rzecz to ta bańka. Zgodniałeś jego auto. Jak to pogotuje w rosolę, to nam wyśpiewa. Co tu się stanęło?
Cliffhanger jest?
A cliffhanger.
No i to jest właśnie Bodo Cox.
So this is Bodo Cox. Bodo Cox started from such artistic forms because he was a happening guy. Only then he went to the Wrocław Film School, but then he had to make a full circle. And it's not about, he doesn't have many views, but the people who have, like, every day, they work somewhere in, like, on big film sets, here they can finally feel like this creative freedom and a bit of a joke. It is as this. It communicates well with the internet like language, because of course humor depends on the audience. But I heard you liked it. This project has started only recently, and I, as a fan of Bodo Cox, because as a child he was my idol at that time, I'm really moved that the guy moved on, and he doesn't break down and cry. So sometimes you might know that you've passed certain barrier, you're in a different place. It doesn't have to be like that, so you have to come back to your roots, and sometimes it's better to do with a few friends. You can do better with a big crew sometimes. And I will show you my own production, which I did last year for Big.
Mara, gdzie co? A Mati jest zajęty poszukiwaniem koleżanki. Chodzi ci jak? Więc tylko ją ogarnia.
My w jednym. związek z przeszłością. Specjalizuje się w wyszukiwaniu historyjkami i nie szuka.
Tato, no weź, to moje ostatnie wakacje z wami.
A Natalia za kilka tygodni wylatuje na studia, chociaż głową już dawno tam odleciała.
O, patrzcie, Maty też chce jechać tam, gdzie ja.
Tak, chcę.
No weź Grzesiek, wynajmiemy takiego starego, klasycznego ogórka.
A jak kosztuje rower?
Dawać mi ten ekskluzywny all inclusive.
Tak zadecydował.
To dobrze przekręt niż kopertę w domu.
To ja dla dobra wszystkich wstrzymuję przed głosu.
Chociaż do pika od kilku lat marzył. Nie wiedział jednak, że rodzona matka pokrzyżuje plan. Zbroje naoliwione, rano ruszamy i z tropiku nic.
No i to był właśnie projekt, który...
And that was a project which had 12 episodes, 1.5 minutes, and it talked about all this the story about this journey to Koźmitrów. Just wanted to give an exposition during the this first episode. This is all shown in a very simplified way, but when you watch all of them in a sequence, you can see that there is a storytelling there. And moreover, this was with influencers. So in every episode, you had to do product location for Blick. So it is a commercial, but that was not supposed to do look like a commercial. So that was my farewell song to marketing, because I was not able in the current times to work in such a way. I would like to have some creative freedom, but I will show you this freedom that the Darwin guys got, and we made this spin-off, an interesting spin-off that where you have no product placement, and with one camera and almost no light at all, and they made their job very, very well.
Andrzeju, nie denerwuj się.
Co się nie denerwuj, Gdzie ja teraz drugi palec znajdę? No przecież mówiłem, że chcę być w zbroi. Nieprawda, właśnie pan mówił, że co roku pan jest w zbroi, że to będzie dobre urozmaicenie teraz. Nie słychać. Weź mi na pogotowie, przecież to jest bez sensu. Panie dyrektorze, czy ja jestem zwolniony? Nie jesteś zwolniony. Zostań tu. Przeproś ludzi, odwołaj te bice, przecież to jest bez sensu. Jezus Maria. Przepraszam.
Nie wiem, czy to jest nadal...
I don't know if you know the Darwin Film Group.
To znowu ten temat.
I can. So actors who at some point did not get into castings and decided to quit and do their own thing, and they built a fantastic thing, their own film group Darwin, and about them you could make a separate lecture. But I wanted to show you a different actor who at some point took things into his own hands. Do you know this guy?
Jest to jeszcze lepsza forma.
It's an even better form one-man show. And the topic is acting. So he uses his social media, talking about his world. He tells his own stories, and they're extremely creative. I'll show you one thing, and he shows mostly his own acting possibility.
Wyciągam dłonie. Słowa zadenerwowane. Wszystko na wierzch wywleką. Słowa głębszej głębi wydrą to gdzieś. Całowałem Morawię. Trzymałem flaszkę w łapie. Flaszka mi się przechyliła i czuję, że wino kapie. Potem pokazali.
Cały czarny, spalony, oprócz jednej ręki. No dziękuję bardzo. Pan odszedł kiedyś bez... To proszę teraz powiedzieć ten tekst. Tak, to się wydarzyło. Dobrze? Potem pokazali mi kogoś. Nie wiem kogo. Cały czarny, spalony, oprócz jednej ręki.
Są różne rzeczy. I one
There are various things, and they more or less touch upon the acting world, the film world, and he does it as a one-man show. He's fantastic. Follow him. He gave up a bit recently because this is extremely demanding. If he's doing this regularly every week, regularity is very important. He does such roles which went into viral, which became viral in many cases. So here again, Instagrams from our Polish movies.
mówi, to jest 35
Dziewczyna w śmieciach is the Polish movie, Cause the Movie,
No i tutaj
and Listy do M, which have been building their brand for many, many years.
zmierzam do tego,
What I'm trying to get at that in current times,
ani w Ameryce,
neither in the US nor especially in Poland, it doesn't make sense to make a separate account for a movie, because naturally this community will not be formed there. Obviously, this is done
pre-rolle puszczać się
to do some pre-rolls or some paid promotions, but it does not have effectiveness. So I do believe that you should follow the in the steps of A24 and build the brand of a production house or some production company,
żadne z was
because none of you, do you know who produced KOS?
by było współproducentem.
TVP was a co-producer, but who was the main producer? Leszek Bodzak, from Aurum Movies, Aurum Film, who also did Corpus Christi. And Aurum, nobody knows Aurum outside of our industry. This is also a topic for a totally different presentation. But our producers,
Myśleć o marketingu własnym albo o PR-ze własnym.
about our own PR, because right now it's a very insider bubble that nobody knows about. See the letters to M, 13,000, but there were 5 movies already in the franchise.
A jednocześnie robią coś takiego.
And moreover, but on top of this, they do things like this. Well, quite interesting,
Co nieumiejętnie zrobiona przez
but
dział marketingu.
not really well done by marketing.
Pamiętajmy, jesteśmy na Instagramie.
You know, we're on Instagram.
Ja już bym wyłączył przy intro.
I would stop at introduction.
No, ale ja nawet tam wyciąłem to, bo to oni coś tu gadają.
They're talking some shit here.
To jest zrealizowane.
This is made in a TV. There are no subtitles. Subtitles are extremely important in roles because people have the sound off, for example, and here you have one main title. Here they put in some photo, and you can see people are killing themselves in commentaries. They were calling Mark Zuckerberg, Mark, buy a new service because Letters to M have a new premiere. The next installment will be premiered this year, so if you want to see that.
To jest TVN, to jest
This is TVN, this is Warner.
to lampka nie akurat. A według mnie na pewno nie, ale to każdy ma swoją rację oczywiście, tak jak powiedziałem, więc nie musimy kłócić.
So we don't have to argue.
Ja wiem też właśnie,
I know that.
znowu, w jaki sposób
Again, how can you come up and promote things? It makes sense not in the way it is done here. They, as actors,
dużo na tym, jak
there are too many of them on the screen and they talk one over the other.
to musi być dynamiczne.
It has to be dynamic, it has to be interesting, and the young person, not like me, is able to come up with some good marketing, and somebody has to start to do it, and somebody has to allow this to be done for the experimentation.
Tu jest ciekawy case. Czy wiedzieliście,
Here's
w tym roku, a w zasadzie w tych miesiącach
an interesting case. Do you know that there were
polskie,
2 Polish movies about a boxer?
wiedzieliście, że są dwa?
Do you know that there are 2 and there are 2 different movies? You said you didn't know. Have you seen any of the movies?
Bokser jest filmem na Netflixa,
Boxer is a Netflix movie.
Kulejem. Kulej
It entered before Kulei. Kulei is 11th of September, and here's 11th of October. The boxer doesn't say about any concrete boxer. The times are similar, a bit of a different convention. Two totally separate movies, two directed to a wider audience. And you would seem that this is a fantastic potential to use it in a form of promotion. Do you remember the Will Smith? So the director of this movie, what does he say about his idea, about the reaction of the producer of that movie? Or he wouldn't. If he wouldn't, I have a source file here somewhere. This is the computer of the ADHD afflicted person. I had this idea, and I called to the producer. How I had this energy. Why the fuck are you calling to me? I was calling on Friday evening. I would, if somebody called me, I would want to know what's on. I wanted to suggest to him, let's make a business out of this. Come on, let's have a fight. Let's have a pro forma fight under the table. No, he's a good man. He cannot. You can see that he can get into an argument. I like him. Yeah. But I do understand also they have a bit more on the line. He's Slovenian. They also have some private money involved. So their company, their product, yes. It's also my product, it's also my career on the line. Yes, but you have Netflix, there's a certain order, there's a budget. Yes, for them the stakes are higher. But I do understand, but come on guys, let's do business. But this you didn't have to have this. I thought, great. I would go to Żuławski, we would start to fight. He would hit me, I would hit him. Somebody would take a picture. On the next day, everybody would know that there are two movies. On the next day, everybody would want to know what's the difference and what it's all about. And everybody would earn a lot of money. Netflix would have a better viewership, and everybody would go to the cinema to see Kulei. And then Tere and Kołski, they would have some fight. And you would not sit here, but you would Xavery, for example, and would have a fight here, and then go for a drink. But at the end, we would Kuhlman to the two actors, and everybody would watch that. It would be more of a wrestling. Yeah. Everybody would watch us. Everybody would watch us. Well, of course, it would be difficult to convince them, but it's a business that if you give each one $1 million, they would agree. It would be such an rock and roll, and I was so happy. Of course, I'm exaggerating right now, but a light conflict, we could say that's something we could have created. But Barbieheimer, we're also referring to Barbieheimer. This was used fantastically, but I think both. Warner is responsible for both movies, but this is Mikia Okor. 2 words about him. I recommend the podcast with him. It hadn't been released yet, but it's a guy who gobbles on movies. He dreams only about movies, and his debut was always off cinema in Slovenia when they are much more backwater than we are. He had things thrown under his feet, but he would go around this movie among banquets, but then the Polish producer found him. He made a series 39.5 with Karolak. Then he made Letters to M1, the Planet of Singles, and then he went to Hollywood, where Will Smith, again we're making the full circle, was the producer, and the son of Will Smith was cast in one of the main roles. So it was a good movie too, but cancel culture. So it was aired, but it was without any promotion. But still, he spent 2 years in Hollywood, and he made his dream movie. Sky is the limit, really. But the thing is, what energy you put in. You've heard this discussion. You can agree with them, you can disagree, but you can see this element of energy, this vibe in all this. The guy said no drugs, no alcohol. Just he doesn't even drink coffee.
Tak, no właśnie.
So he's all hyped. Yes,
Ale
I do agree with him. There should be I mean, he's a very direct guy. When I talk to him, he can poke fun at me. He's very authentic, and this is also very important in social media. The authenticity, for which is different for everyone.
kończę, bo która w ogóle godzina? 16:20.
It's it's 4:20, so I think we're very close to the end.
Jeszcze taka mała
Like a very small
w kontekście też tego,
plug-in.
że my
Because we filmmakers, we do not have our own community, and nobody knows outside of among the viewers, the audience, apart from the director and the actors who's on the set. So slowly with my colleague, with whom I'm doing a podcast, we make a film podcast. We want to talk about films,
różnych gości,
and we wanted to invite guests from different divisions, from different departments, and to show the world through their eyes, the cinema through their eyes. What Ijak said in the very beginning of this film, Spring Open, like the toucan perspective, and at the end I will show you the trailer and a guest, Adam Mendry, who did the Steadicam, who first did directing in Warsaw Film School. He saw that directing is not about keep holding the camera, so he moved on to the DOP department, and when he saw a Steadicam, he never let it go. So he's an incredible showman. That was his first podcast discussion that he had in his life. He was prepared totally. He had like anecdotes. He had like a whole library of them, and he had a fascinating life. So if you like this, I recommend you listen.
jasnym, który jest kwintesencją jego osobowości.
I'll show you the trailer that is the quintessential for his personality.
No i to jest gość, który
So this is a guy who's the best Steadicam in Poland, but he's also working around the world. He's a great guy. The whole industry knows him, and thanks to us, they also others have a possibility to meet him. The topic of the movie is the people are not so interested in the topic of the movie, like in Patostreamani, like with pato streamers or something like this, but this is also my summary, that it's not about the clicks, it's not about the views, it's about you feeling that you add your little something to this world, and you're directing it in the right direction, and you're following your heart. But of course, everybody has a different heart and a heartbeat, so it's not that everybody who disagrees with me is an evil bitch, but I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I'm before my debut. Maybe I will be able to make it, even though my chances grow slimmer, but I want to show cinema and all those beautiful people who are on the other side of the screen. This is really interesting to me, so I recommend to you. I will do my podcast Sam zrobię kino, and that's all, folks. As the Piggy, do you know that? Yeah, Looney Tunes. So I really enjoyed that. There was supposed to be more interaction, but if somebody wants to interact with me, well, this is the right moment, so I encourage you to ask me. I also encourage you to join my YouTubers group, which is led in a bit of a different way this year, and I regret, because last year there were too many people, and at the end of the day, Marek Hucz did the work, and he wrote the script, and then he played, and then I added the music. So I wanted this year to have people to do it. And it occurred that sometimes people won't prefer to stand aside and look rather than do, and I would like you to do stuff and to take over the steering wheel of your life, and not to take example of this guy who's sitting in the trunk. So if you have any questions, you have to have a question. You have a vibe. It's not, I'm not trying to offend you. It's like, you have a vibe of my mother, but you know, it's not a problem for me. No, really, but you are visually similar to my mother. That's she has similar glasses. I will ask you a question, because people are often, what do you do here? It's a long story. I've been a photographer 20-something years. I did the DOP studies in Warsaw. I did my 3 film etudes. I'm editing the 3rd one. The 2nd one, today I will show the 2nd one after the movie Apollonia. It was my the first year's graduating work. I came here because I'm very much interested the participation of artificial intelligence in the movies, how you can use it. Maybe some short format. I'm not talking like the long features, but I'm not planning that. But maybe short film forms are interesting for me. Aren't you afraid that this artificial, because you're a DOP? No, I graduated. I made my graduation movie. But my graduating movie is not complete yet. Are you more interested telling a story as frame, or storytelling as a story, as narrative? Both, because I do have a photographic experience. For me, image is of extreme importance. However, narrative is also very important to me. Yeah, that's why I believe that people like my colleague my friend used to work with prompts. And I must say that if you put in the right things into AI, like static, but you add some parameters of lenses, etc., you can generate fantastic things. I'm with Jacek Nagłowski's group, and he does fantastic things when it comes to using software. I would never learn such stuff within a few days, and I already added a short script. I added this into a program that he mentioned, and I got a fantastic response. Based in prompts. So this is very interesting. I was thinking about ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can remember you as a user. Yes, Jacek said that you can create you have projects, and it can save your projects, and for every project you can come back, you can reanalyze this, you can ask questions whether this fragment is okay or the other fragment is okay, what will be the reception of the viewers of that element. And it's fantastic. I put it in yesterday, and I got a number of the answers. Sometimes the answer doesn't have to be the final thing that takes place in the your brain goes into the places where you haven't been, so you didn't even realize they are there. So you ask another question, what's up to that, and their development of others. And at the same time, I do have it like this, that I'm a guy who's afraid to be judged by others. Here I know that it's just artificial intelligence, so I'm not judged by other people, and it doesn't have any individual emotional value. It's also great that it also praises you, because I sometimes ask it on purpose to be a bit more critical.
Muszę zapytać, w kontekście tego Willa Smitha, który...
In the context of Will Smith, from the beginning of 2019, I have a theory that Hollywood is much more advanced than they really show, and the deepfakes. So putting different actors into the movies is a daily business, so that celebrities do not have to stand for ages on the screen, but they have a stand-in, and then you have a generated their face or their voice, because now these voices you can do it like one-to-one. And I cannot believe that we, as all these, like this grey mass, we get these technologies, just like it was with the internet. First, it was military, and then it went on. I would say, in the Hollywood, we already have what Will Smith already showed, and everybody have fun there. At Puff Diddy's parties. I think the last one was I don't know if you're following this, the story of Puff Diddy.
No i chyba lepiej.
It's better that you don't.
Jakby Hollywood, a na razie jest Hollywood, bo ona jest bardziej branża muzyczna, ale to wszystko dotknie i myślę, że
I think
niczym moje słowa
you will remember my words.
do końca roku maksymalnie
I give them time until the end of the year, the beginning of the next year, but
Ameryka w ogóle będzie
the US will be at a totally different stage and level if they do not have a civil war.
A właśnie chciałem podziękować
I would like to thank Beyoncé.
Ona miała prowadzić.
She was supposed to lead this lecture, but she could not. So she's the most fantastic woman in the world, and she's our light. So Beyoncé, if something, I said thank you.
To zrozumieć, to zrozumiał.
There were parties that took place where Justin Bieber just started his career. He was 14, 15, and he was participating in them. And right now, new information are starting to see the light, which can destroy the career of Beyoncé and plenty of other people. You know, the Puff Diddy parties were special, and there are like some deviations there, but everybody says it's another distractor. So the problem is elsewhere, and they want to show, like a magician, to show a rabbit out of the hat just to divert your attention. We might never know the truth. The Epstein's Island, the same stuff. I don't know if you heard about the Pizzagate. These are all conspiracy theories, but Ijak is not doing films anymore in Hollywood, but he's sitting here, so I don't think he didn't want to join the Puff Diddy's parties anymore. Okay, so don't dream of this Hollywood so much. Referring to Hollywood and Meteocorn, it's a very funny thing, and it shows how Hollywood worked, how much of a factory it is, that the director who manages the whole set at some point came up to some sort of a double body or an extra and says that you should not look into the camera, and because the director did that, because it was said by the director, there was some huge scandal out of this. She got a much better money, much better job, just because the director spoke to her. So for me, it's crazy that this industry can operate. In Poland, it doesn't pay. In Poland, you say you earn money on production, and we should start earning money on this, because Polish movies can be cheaper. I was brought up on the Bodo Cox and others of cinema, and fantastic things were created, and technology went on, and suddenly these amateur filmmakers are there no more, and everybody wants to be YouTubers, influencers, and other people like that, and there's no fun in this. Where can you see that?
Łatwe to jest.
I mean, it's paid.
Właśnie mam to poczucie,
Yes, I do have a feeling that, as I wrote in one of the slides, that we're more focused on creation and less on watching. So one more question. I don't want to keep you here, and I'm available to you throughout all this time, and I encourage you to talk to me privately. When were you in the cinema last time?
okej, wybaczone. 3 miesiące. Tydzień temu koleżanka nam techniczna. Tydzień temu. Kto najdłużej? Jakaś osoba na pewno jest...
A week ago?
Nie wstydzi.
A week ago? 2 weeks ago?
To też ogląda filmy?
Are you watching movies too?
No właśnie, to jest właśnie takie... Chociaż ja zawsze romantyzowałem.
I always romanticize such a cinema employee, and I think there is a magic in this.
Bo teraz zdyszy. No, ale w ogóle mam poczucie, że kiedyś...
I do have a feeling that at some point cinema was much more hot, especially in Poland. Polish cinema was really influential. It's a topic that really hurts me, that our cinema had a mission.
Scena po napisach końcowych. że kiedyś
That the Polish cinema had a mission
po
once
prostu miało misję, bo musiało walczyć
because it had to fight against censorship
z systemem, który
with the system,
jest tak dużo mniej sprzyjający. A teraz
and now
tak naprawdę mamy
we have a lot of good stuff,
dużo chyba dobrego.
maybe too much of a good stuff, and that's why the cinema is not such a morally unsettled cinema like during the times of Kieślowski. Maybe it's better, maybe so, but if you want to do commercial stuff in Poland, do it at a good level, not on a primitive level, because I think that Polish artistic cinema
Na światowym poziomie
is on a top world level in terms of art house,
znajduje swoich widzów, ale te polskie
but the Polish commercial stuff,
są bardzo
the blockbusters are unfortunately they're very, very mediocre, bad, and looking up to America. Even Mr. Klex with Shapoba for the promotion because everybody went to the cinema,
to nadal jest kompleks.
but still we have American complex there.
Także tak, dziękuję bardzo.
So thank you very much. I really enjoyed this. Thank you for listening me until the end, and not like Mr. from Holyland whom we respect a lot and say hello, and only thanks to Holland I was able to talk to you, and they generate all my avatar here. Thanks. That was a joke.
On będzie ciągle gadał, ADHD.